Hello and welcome to the 2011 Ford Ironman Louisville. I am Greg Welch.
And I'm McKeely Jones. Thanks for joining us at IronmanLIVE.
So today in our show we're going to be bringing you age group racing tips, a course overview, a look at the professional racing field, a walk around Louisville, Kentucky, and the grand debate between McKeely Jones and myself as to whom is going to win this year's race. So let's get started. The 5th year this has been here. Louisville has hosted the Ford Ironman, and also last year's race was a good one if you're an Australian and you come from the land down under. The 2010 Ford Ironman Louisville was a big race for the Australians. Paul Ambrose won the men's division at the tender age of 26 with his first Ironman win and the first time to compete in Louisville. He finished with a time of 8 hours, 29 minutes and 59 seconds. Ambrose returns again this year to defend his title. Australian native Rebecca Keat won the women's division with a time of 9 hours, 33 minutes and 15 seconds, coming in 8th overall. She took the lead early on the bike and never let it get away. It was Keat's first Ironman win in 3 years. But we'll have a new women's champ this year as Keat isn't here racing this weekend or defending her title. The hot temperatures played a big part in the race last year. This weekend, however, the weather looks a little bit more agreeable for the nearly 2,500 athletes competing on Sunday. So McKeely, at 6:50 a.m. in the morning, race day. Our professional athletes are going to start out as a group. But what's unique to the Ford Ironman Louisville is that we're going to have a time trial start. So over 2,500 registered age group athletes are going to get off just together there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Explain how that all works.
Well, Greg, what's going to happen is the athletes are actually going to jump off the pontoon, and as soon as they cross the timing mat, that's when their official swim time is going to begin, which means once they get out on the bike course, they're actually going to be spread out. So drafting isn't going to be an issue compared to some other Ironman races.
All right, so they're going to be spread out. So what do the athletes have to, keep in mind on race day?
I actually feel, Greg, there's 3 to 4 points that we really need to think about. Firstly, you don't want to try anything new. So what you practiced in training is what you practiced in the race. Be patient. Ironman's all about being patient. It's a long day out there. Make sure you conserve enough energy early so you have enough left for the finish. Number 3, core temperature. This race is hot and humid, so you want to make sure you keep your core temperature down by putting water over your head, putting ice down your shirt, and then on the run, if you're wearing a cap, putting ice underneath your cap as well. And finally, remember to say cheese. After swimming 2.4 miles, biking 112 miles, and then running a marathon 26.2 miles, you want to make sure you get a fantastic photo for the finish.
And to get that big smile, you're going to have to get to the finish line, so we'll see you there. Let's go to Google Earth to view the 2011 Ford Ironman course here in Louisville, Kentucky. We start out with a swim at Towhead Island where the athletes will swim 600 yards on the inside of Towhead Island before heading out on the Ohio River, making that left-hand turn and swimming all the way back down the river to the Great Lawn, totaling 2.4 miles in length. Then the athletes go through the transition area and head out onto the bike course up the river road, and that'll take them all the way up to the first right-hand turn onto State Road 1694. The athletes do an out and back on this road, and then they will hit the intersection again at 42. They will go all the way down a few miles to the 393 and make that right-hand turn before heading into the town of LaGrange, where they'll be met by thousands of fans cheering them on in that actual town of LaGrange. Then the athletes take a left-hand turn onto the very narrow Ballard School Road up to Old Sligo and Esprit before heading back down to the 42 for the second lap of this 2-loop bike course. As the athletes approach the Great Lawn for the last time, they will head out onto the run course up onto the 2nd Avenue Bridge. This bridge is going to allow the athletes to see their competitors for the very first time on this out and back section of the run. After the bridge, they head up onto 3rd Street where they'll pass Papa John's Cardinal Stadium and the world-famous Churchill Downs Thoroughbred Racetrack, home of the Kentucky Derby. Then out onto the turnaround, they will hit the 6.5 mile marker to head back into town to complete their first loop. In town, they run down 4th Street adjacent to the finish line onto Muhammad Ali Boulevard before heading out on their second lap of the run. When the athletes get back into town on their last lap, they will run back into 4th Street Live, where this finish line is deafening with the crowd there bringing the athletes all the way home on this Ford Ironman Louisville. Okay, so now let's talk about the top 3 contenders in the men's race. So this weekend we're looking at Paul Ambrose. He's the 2010 Ford Ironman Louisville champ. He's a sort of an inexperienced champion. In saying that, this is only his 3rd race in the Ironman distance. He's a great swimmer and cyclist. Also in the men's race, we've got Chris McDonald from Australia. Started racing in 2001, played field hockey as a kid in Australia. We call him the Baker because he was carrying a few extra kgs. And Romain Gilliam from France. He turned pro in 2009, strong on the swim and bike portions, improving as a professional, and this year had his best race at the Ironman UK in 2nd place. McKeely, over to the women.
Yeah, the women's field is really interesting in the fact that you have two very good swimmers. Nina Kraft is our 2009 Louisville champ. She's an excellent swimmer. She has a lot of experience, and she's also quite a strong bike rider. And then you have someone like Tara Castro, who's an excellent cyclist, so she's going to definitely show later in the race. But you know, she's had some consistent top 5 finishes over these seasons as well. And finally we have Hilary Biscay. She's the 2008 Ironman Wisconsin champion. She's had 25 top 5 finishes. And you know, this is going to be Ironman distance number 50 for her. So I definitely think they're going to be our 3 podium finishers.
So let's switch gears right now and go over to the Kona Points ranking system. There's 2 races happening this weekend, one in Canada in Penticton, British Columbia, and the other one right here at the Ford Ironman Louisville race in Kentucky. Now this weekend is the last qualifying opportunity for these athletes. Only the top 30 women are going to qualify for this year's World Championship, and also sitting on the bubble at the moment, Mary Beth Ellis from the USA sitting 34th, Jackie Arndt at 36th place, and also Hilary Biscay from the USA sitting in 37th place, going to have a fantastic race this weekend. And for the men, 50 spots available for our guys. So sitting on the bubble right now, Hiroki Nishiuchi from Japan sitting in 58th position, Paul Ambrose and Chris McDonald rounding out that top 65 positions there. So Chris McDonald really has his work cut out this weekend. Okay, now let's have some fun, McKeely Jones. Roll out the crystal ball. Here we go. See if either one of us can get it right and predict the winners. Women's first. Go ahead.
Well, I'm actually going with Tara Castro for the very reason this race has a history of having winners that have never won before. And she's a very strong bike rider, and I think she's definitely going to play a big part in the later stages of this race. So she's definitely my pick.
Well, I'm going to go and say that you're absolutely way off track. Nina Kraft, she's going to take the race. She's going to get out to a flying start. She's going to have a good swim. She'll be shadowed by Hilary Biscay there for a while, but I think she'll shoot off onto the bike ride and off into the sunset. All right, now my turn. Don't say anything, my turn. All right, for the men, I'm going to pick Paul Ambrose, the 2010 Ford Ironman Louisville champion. He's on good form right now. He's young. It's only his 3rd Ironman, and I think he's hungry.
Well, I am going to go totally against you, Greg. Surprise, surprise. And I'm going to say that experience counts. And I'm going with Chris McDonald for the simple reason, the fact that he has actually won here and placed 2nd here before. So I'm going with the big sexy.
All right, well, you got good taste in Australians anyway. All right, so Louisville is enriched in sporting history around here. They absolutely love huge sporting events. So take a look at this.
Louisville is an old city by U.S. standards, incorporated in the 1790s. It has a lot of Midwestern values and a little bit of Southern charm. It's centrally located within a day's drive of 60% of the U.S. population. Louisville is a city with a tremendous heart and soul. We know how to embrace big events. It's part of our culture. We've been at sports entertainment as a city longer than anybody. For a long time, over 100 years, we've been making the baseball bat here, the Louisville Slugger. So there's Slugger Museum and Factory. We also have the Kentucky Derby here, which is the oldest continuously run sporting event in America. And then the third tremendous facility we have here is the Muhammad Ali Center. The Ironman is a fabulous brand, and people do it because they know the quality, they know the experience is going to be delivered. And in Louisville, it has something for everybody. We have a tremendous start here in the river. It's a beautiful bucolic setting. And then when you get on your bike, you're headed out up the Ohio River into horse country. And then the finish is in a fabulous section of downtown Louisville called Louisville 4th Street Live. So we really have something for everybody, including a tremendous urban experience.
Well, absolutely love Louisville. I want to saddle up for the Kentucky Derby. What about the weather this weekend?
You're small enough. The weather is actually going to be pretty good for us. We're going to be very lucky with Hurricane Irene sort of skirting around us. We're going to be starting the temperature at about 69 degrees in the morning. The high is going to be about 85 degrees. Water temperature, no wetsuits, at 85 degrees as well. The humidity is going to sit around 61%. And the winds are going to be north at 11 miles per hour. So a pretty good day for the athletes.
So just another beautiful Ironman day. So check us out here at IronmanLIVE on race day at IronmanLIVE.com. Also at Facebook.com/IronmanTry and at Twitter at IronmanTry. We're going to be starting our race coverage at 6:30 Eastern Time. Also our Pro Start is going off at 6:50 and then our age group is starting from 7 Eastern Time. So don't forget to join us tomorrow morning. For all of us here at IronmanLIVE, we'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.